Greetings, welcome back to Friday the 13th YouTube channel Metalheads. Today you're going to be watching an exclusive interview with Sven Dirkschneider from the band U.D.O. Now, U.D.O. are about to release their new album on Atomic Fire Records. It's called Touchdown, released on the 25th of August 2023. I'd like to thank Sven for the interview. Stay up yourself, brother. I'd also like to thank Atomic Fire Records for setting up this interview. So please share on social media. Please leave comments. Much appreciated, Metalheads. Thanks for watching. Be safe. Hi, Sven. How are you doing?
Good, yourself?
Yeah, do you remember me?
Yeah, long time no see.
Yeah. Last time I saw you, you was roading for Nigel from Saxon.
That's correct. Yeah, it's a long time ago.
So
Cool.
good to see you again. Anyway, Sven. So we're talking to
Likewise.
Sven from Udo Dirkschneider band, the Udo band. So welcome to Friday 13th YouTube channel.
Thank you.
So this
Thanks
is
for
the
having
first time we've done an interview together. So I hope you like the backdrop.
me. That's good. Yeah, I really like
So
it.
how's your day
Really-
been?
Sorry, say again.
How's your day been?
Oh, pretty good. I mean, it's hot as fuck outside, so I just had some barbecue with friends of mine, and yeah, just enjoying the rest of the evening. And yeah, so far so good. Some free time at the moment. There's no shows at the moment until the 21st of July. That's when we get the ball back rolling, and then we pretty much roll until the end of August. And so yeah, it's been a busy summer so far, and at the moment it's 3 weeks off, I think. So recharging the batteries, I would say.
Okay, then. So where do you live now? Do you live in Ibiza like your father, or do you live in
No, no,
Germany?
no. I live in Germany. I live close to Cologne, like 50 kilometers south, and living here since 2015. And no. I've never lived in Ibiza. I only visited my dad when he lived there, of course, for 13 years, and it's a good childhood memory. We went there a lot of times for holiday and stuff like that. So I love the island, but definitely I'm still in Germany.
Okay, then. So I'm going to ask you some warm-up questions first, Sven. As a drummer, was the drums your first instrument? Because your father being the vocalist, or did you try to sing?
Uh, good question. I think that before I was imitating my dad with a friend of mine who was, or he is the son of Dieter Dirks, the producer, Julian. We were hanging around a lot back in the days because obviously the friendship of my dad and Dieter was there back in the day, and we lived in Pulheim. Dieter was from Stommeln, so I've been to the studio quite often and stuff like that. But I think before I did that, I picked up some bongos because I think it must have been, I think I can say it precisely, 1995. I think Fitty was there for Christmas, and I got a little guitar, little ukulele, and a pair of bongos. So I picked the bongos, and Fitty was playing the ukulele, and that's when I started hitting some drums, and that's when my parents said, we should definitely look for a drum teacher. So what they tried to do is to put me in music school as quick as possible, but they refused to take me because I was too young. That's what they said. And I think at the age of 5 or 6, I started playing drums then, and had my first drum teacher. And yeah, then ever since I never stopped.
Okay, then. So what drums do you actually play now? What's your current company?
Sorry, that my company, I'm with DW since 2016 already. So yeah, I'm playing Paiste cymbals since 2015, so I never changed that. I recently swapped drumstick companies. I was with Vincent Drumsticks since 2015. Now I'm with Rohima from Germany as well. And so yeah, Remo
Oh,
drum heads, the whole package on that. And then yeah, some other smaller stuff, I would say, like Vision in-ears and stuff like that. But the main company is definitely DW. And I play a Swedish snare company, 101 Drums, which are fantastic people, and they build great snare drums. Really love them. I think they introduced them to me in 2016 or 17, I think, in Copenhagen. That's when they visited a show of us and showed me one of their snare drums, and I played it at that show, and our sound engineer was blown away by the sound. And ever since, I'm playing these snare drums. So yeah, that's it.
okay. So drum influences. Who's inspired you? Any of your dad's drummers in the past?
Sure. I mean, Francesco was a huge influence for me. I watched him play so many times that I definitely learned a lot from him. That's for sure. Mickey D is a big influence of mine because that was one of the first gigs I've ever went to as a kid with my dad. That's for sure. Tommy Lee was a big influence. I loved Motley Crue back in the day. Nowadays, not that much anymore. I'm not into it that much any longer. But I just watched them at Grass Pop, and I think, I mean, there's a lot of rumors going on and a lot of media going on around that band. But I think just Tommy Lee is still a good showman and a good drummer, and definitely has a legacy to it. Who else? I mean, who else? Vinny Appice, I mean, great drummer as well. If it goes more technical, Thomas Lang and stuff like that, which I love to watch. I will never get into that stuff because that's not my type of that's not how I like to play drums. I'm more song orientated and I love to play music, but I'm not a big fan of like 1 hour drum solo. But if it gets more technical, I would definitely go for him. And yeah, I would pretty much say that's it.
Okay, then. So I remember seeing you at Nottingham Rock City with sax, and you actually played drums that night because Nigel wasn't well. How did you feel being the drum tech and playing drums that night?
Crazy. I mean, it was I don't know, sort of unreal. I was on tour with them, and obviously I had a close connection to Nigel. I had a closer connection to the band because I was touring with them for quite some time. But when he got sick on that tour, I never thought that they're gonna call me and ask if I could play and play for Nigel. So when they called me, I was super surprised about the fact, and I think I said, hang on, give me 5 minutes and I call you back because I was so overwhelmed by the fact that they trusted in me, and so yeah, I mean, I sat down, practiced my ass off because playing with Saxon in England is a big fucking deal. So yeah, I was nervous. I was really nervous. But in the end, I think, I mean, they called back in 2015 in November when we came back from South America, and I was playing another 2 shows in Hamburg and in Berlin in Germany when they supported Motorhead. So in the end, you know, I think I did good. Otherwise, they wouldn't have called me back. So yeah, it was a great feeling. It was strange but great, and I'm super thankful that they gave me the opportunity to do that.
So how did you feel when you was asked to join your father's band? Because I was interviewing your father a couple of years ago, and he said Sven doesn't get any special treatment. If he does anything wrong, he gets his ass kicked. Is that still?
I mean, if we keep it, or we take it serious. I mean, it's in the end, it's of course business. I mean, we are family, that's for sure, and we are father and son. But it turned out to be, of course, 2015. I mean, that's what, 8 years ago. So I was 21 at that time, 21, 22. So of course it was different back then. I mean, when I joined my dad, I was same thing, super nervous. I think I took 10 or even 14 days to think about if I would like to join the band, because I mean, it's great to be on tour with your dad and to play in the band of your dad, but what if you fuck it up?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
a big thing to think about. I mean, he has a legacy, and so it was, of course, not the easiest decision. And then, of course, you need to decide if you want to do it permanently for your life, full time. I mean, we are on tour with U.D.O.s so much that there's no time for anything else, which is I'm very grateful for, and everyone in the band is very grateful for, and appreciated the fact that we can do this, as full-time musicians. But I think the first couple of shows were a bit rumbly, that's for sure. I mean, it was strange for everyone as well. I mean, not only for me and my dad, also for the other musicians. It's strange if the son of the main guy, the boss, is coming in and plays. So but in the end, we figured that it worked out great. I mean, whoever was in the band since then, I had a really good relationship with, and I enjoyed playing with. I think the band developed over the years a lot, and we have such young musicians at the moment that it's a lot of fun to play together. So yeah, we just enjoy it. And of course, I don't get any special treatment, same as anyone else, because we just try to work our asses off to develop the band and to push forward. You know, that's what everyone wants to aim for. So we work really hard, and I just hope that it pays off and the people love what we do.
Okay, so before we talk about the rest of the band, what's your favorite Accept album that your dad sang on, and also what's your favorite U.D.O. album that your dad sang on prior to you joining the band?
I mean, I would say my favorite Accept song is Metal Heart. Just because of the fact that I got engaged with this song Metal Heart so much when I was a kid, that it still gives me goosebumps when we play it, or I hear a live version of it, or even the original. So that's definitely the favorite Accept album. And the favorite U.D.O. album, I mean, Touchdown. I mean, I'm fascinated by the fact that my dad is still willing to try out so many new things and to still find new characters of his voice. That fascinates me a lot. And we do the pre-production together, we write the lyrics together, we develop the melodies together nowadays. So that's also how close the relationship got between the both of us. So yeah, I'm just super proud of him, and to hear him sing and scream on these super fast and aggressive songs just makes me really happy and very proud. And so I would definitely choose Touchdown. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you joined the band for the Steelfactory album, which is a fantastic album. I actually think it's the best one. That's my personal favorite.
Definitely, yeah, definitely also one of my all-time favorites. I would definitely say that after Touchdown, it would be Steelfactory, and then it would be Game Over, if you ask me from the ones I played on. Steelfactory was very special as well, because we really had the time to be in a studio together. And everything after that was during COVID times. So there was no way that we could work together how we wanted to work together. So but as the turnout of this new album is so great and everyone is really happy with the result, I can only look forward to the next album, because then hopefully we have the chance to work together in a studio again and to write music face to face, which is what we love and what we want to do, because that's the most fun and I think also the most productive way to create new material. So yeah, I'm really looking forward already to the next one, which sounds stupid, but that's what it is, you know. And to get into the studio with the guys again and write some music.
Okay, then so the new album, Touchdown, who came up with the title for the album, and who did the artwork?
That was actually quite out of nowhere, I would say. I mean, during the pre-production of the album, I was sitting down with my dad in my home studio, and we were just talking about football in general and how it developed in Germany, that it became bigger and bigger and bigger, because a couple of years ago nobody would know about it, you know, about all these NFL teams and stuff like that. And Super Bowl became super big here, and there are huge parties in stadiums and arenas, and the people watch it together. And stuff like that. And we were just talking about it, and my dad said, yeah, I was checking out some, because recent season and stuff like that. And he was saying, yeah, I was watching some games and I think it's a super cool sport and blah blah. And I was surprised by that, because I never thought that he would be interested in American football. But we didn't talk about the fact that this could be the album title. And then we were sitting in Sao Paulo at the airport in a sports bar, drinking some beers and waiting for our flight, having some dinner. And there was a TV. Of course, it's a sports bar. And then there was American football. And then the commentator said, Touchdown. And then my dad said, that's the album title. Why don't we just take it as the album title? Fuck it. And everyone was like, oh, really? Yeah, that's a really good idea. And then we were talking about the fact that, you know, it actually has some similarities to what we do. They go out as a team, you know, and they have to be, you know, all engaged with each other when they hit the field, and they want to, you know, take over their enemies. We don't have enemies. We only have a lot of friends in front of the band, but you definitely want to engage with them, and you want to take over the, you know, the energy and stuff like that, and just have a great time with them. So sort of we thought, yeah, that, you know, if they go out to a field or on a field, then it must be the same feeling. And then American football is a very aggressive and fast sport, And we sort of do the same, you know, it's fast music, heavy metal music, very aggressive, very straightforward, you know, in your face. So we had enough connections there that we said, and it's just a fucking great title, you know, I mean, the word is just cool, you know, and then the artwork was done by our photographer, Martin Häusler. So he
Okay,
came
then.
up with the cover and designed it, which is, I think, a fantastic turnout. He did some really, really nice work on that.
Okay, because the new album's also got Peter Bales back in the band, has it? Because he's Wet Sweet Dad with Accept. How did Peter get back in the band? Because I know he did a project, he did a song together. Is that how it revolved for him to be in the band again?
No, not really. I mean, we did work with him on We Are One, the album that we did together with the orchestra. And then we did Dirkschneider and the Old Gang, which was most likely a project for our crew and musicians during COVID times, because there was no income for everyone. So in the end, we decided to, you know, all the profit that was gained by that went to the crew and the band to support, you know, the people that work together with us during these very hard and tough times. But in the end, very easy story. I mean, not cool in the end, but that's what happened. Our bass player Tillen collapsed during the second show of the tour last year in Munich. So there was something going on with his heart, was going crazy. I still don't really know what exactly happened. In the end, it turned out to be a burnout that he was facing. So his body just couldn't handle the stress that he had. Obviously, a lot of stress in his head as well, which was the result of COVID, I guess, because, you know, if everything you love and you do for a passion is taken away from you, that can do a lot with your mental status. And then we were sitting there in Munich. That was the first tour after COVID. So, I mean, of course, it was hard for everyone. So you can imagine for the company as well, for the band itself. So we had to continue. I mean, there was no way around it, because we are not Iron Maiden or Judas Priest, you know, who can easily sit out a tour and then say we're going to continue next year again. You know, we work hard to keep this going, and we want to do this. So in the end, we had to call someone, and I suggested, who could it be? Peter Baltes. Let's just call him and ask if he would be up to do it. And in the end, he said yes. I mean, I was calling him and I said, "Hey, Peter, we need a bass player. Tillen just collapsed, so could you be there on Thursday?" That was Sunday. So I asked him if he could join us in Berlin on Thursday. We had 2 shows in between, and Andrey and Dee went to a hotel room straight away after the show and recorded bass parts, so we could, you know, do these 2 shows in Stuttgart, in Switzerland, in Pratteln, I guess. And Peter said, "Yeah, just give me 5 minutes, I call you back." And then he did after 5 minutes, and he said he's coming. So we were sending him the set list. He was learning all these songs within a couple of days only. And then, you know, he was on tour with us. We were playing the tour. We went to South America together, and then Tillen decided that he doesn't want to do it any longer. I don't know, maybe he just wanted to take a break from touring permanently. I don't know. But he definitely decided that he didn't want to do it, and he won't come back. So we were sitting in South America, and we were asking Peter if he could think about being a full-time member of the band. And in the end, he said yes. And yeah, I mean, it's awesome to play with this guy. So it was with Tillen. I mean, I love this guy as well, and I love his playing, and he's a very talented musician. But yeah, Peter is great. We have a lot of fun together. He's a great musician, no doubt about it. He's a great singer. He's a great bass player, and we just have a lot of fun playing together. And I really appreciated that he helped us out in first place, and now he's a full-time member of the band.
Okay, then. So the album was produced by Martin, who's worked with the band before. He also worked with Anvil, and he also had Stefan, the old Accept drummer or guitarist, Accept. How was it working with those guys? Because you've worked with them before, haven't you?
Yeah, for sure. So we know each other, and we know what you know. Sort of, we of course still try to challenge each other, especially if we hit the studio. We want to make the sound even better. We want to create even better drum sounds and even better drum parts, and the guitarists want to do even better solos and better sounds and whatnot. So Definitely it's a challenge, but we know each other. We know how everyone is working. We know their habits, their goods and bads. We love each other. We fight. Whatever. Everything can happen. But I love both of those guys, and they are very talented musicians, of course, as well, but very talented producers in the end, and recording engineers. And I really appreciate working with Stefan in his studio. Being a drummer himself, he taught me a lot. He was sort of my mentor for some years, when he recorded my own band back in the day. It was the first studio work I did was with Stefan.
What was your first band? What was your first band?
That's my band from my youth, basically.
Which one?
Damaged.
Oh, okay.
Damaged, yeah. So we were like a cover band, first place, and then we wrote our own material and we were recording an EP. But how things go, like during that period, and these developments we made, some of the guys decided that they want to quit their instruments and they were not interested in music. I mean, we were 13, 14, so that's what's happening to people if they get interested in other stuff when they're a teenager. And then unfortunately the band fell apart, because I think that would have been a great future with the band, because it was very talented musicians and we were family, sort of. We knew each other from age, I don't know, 8 or whatever, and we were really close to each other. So it's a shame that this band doesn't exist any longer. And I would have loved to know where it would have taken us, over the years. But as I said, I've been working with Stefan for a long time. Of course, he knows me since I'm a little kid, so we know each other very well. And with Martin, it's the same. He's such a clever brain, and he knows how to work things out and to make songs even better, and he's very helpful in the studio as well. And he's a really, really good engineer as well. So he definitely knows how to produce a really good drum sound. That's what I love. Keeps it natural, but still powerful. And he knows how to handle stuff. So it's cool. It's a good team.
So how long did it take to record the album?
The actual recording wasn't too long, to be honest. I can't really tell when we actually started recording it, but it must have been somewhere around last year, before the tour and after the tour. So, for instance, I recorded my drum parts in January this year. Must have been January this year. But the actual songwriting process was, of course, longer, because there was no shows, there was COVID and stuff like that. So we pretty much started to write after we had everything done for Game Over, because there was nothing to do anyway. So we just kept ourselves busy in the studio and we started to write new material. And then in between, there were a bunch of not that nice things happening. First of all, COVID. Then my house got flooded in Germany in 2021, and then Andrey was right in the middle of that fucking stupid war in Ukraine. He was living in Ukraine. Now he's living in Germany, and we were really happy and lucky that we could get him out, and he was able to get out, because there were really uncertain times where we didn't know if he was still alive for a couple of weeks, actually. So it was definitely very devastating and heartbreaking to see what's happening in this fucked up world. So that forced us to pause the album process and to stop songwriting. But then I think when he sort of recovered, if you could call it recovered, but he processed at least some of the things that he went through, and he came back even stronger than before, and he put out super aggressive and powerful material, which we loved. So in the end, I think it's a great turnout for the album, even though it comes from, but to be very honest, in music, you just put out your emotions. So if you're pretty angry at that time because there's stupid stuff happening, you pretty much write angry music, that's how it is. Or if you feel sad or whatever, you write sad music. So in this case, everyone was quite fired up, I would say, from all these fucking things that happened to each and every single one of us. So that's why I think the album turned out to be that aggressive as well, with a lot of fast and even like progressive songs for U.D.O. material, of course, but still being U.D.O. So everyone is really happy with that.
Okay, then so what's your favorite songs from the new album?
My favorite definitely is the title track Touchdown, because it was such a challenge to record it for me, first of all, because it's super fast and there's a lot of stuff going on in the drum patterns and fast double bass, fast fills, which is a bit unusual for the stuff that we did over the past years. But I love to play this stuff, and but I still, of course, I had to get into the groove with it, and to figure out my drum parts and what fits and what not, and then you have to perform it, of course. So that's definitely my favorite from that point of view. Another one would be Fight for Your Right, because I think it just also the lyrics are, even though I can't tell because I wasn't there, but we were pretty much writing these lyrics for Andrey and for that fucking stupid war, to make a statement and to say that they should fucking stop it because it's stupid, and who knows how long it will continue, and nobody needs that. And I never thought that I'm gonna experiencing something like that in 2023 and 2022 when it started. So that's definitely another favorite. And the third one I would choose is, let's say, Punchline, because I just love the groove. Very U.D.O. classic related, but very modern touches as well. I love the vocal lines because they are quite unusual. And yeah, that's why I love it. Yeah.
So how do you see this album as a progression from the last album, Game Over?
It's way more, I would say, heavy metal, or way more aggressive, faster songs, more progressive, more powerful. I mean, the songs on Game Over were powerful as well, but I think it had more of hard rock touches in it, which is also great, and we love to have these mid-tempo grooves. But with this new album, there's a lot of very speedy stuff, which is great for live shows as well, which the people love to get them fired up. And that's when you really feel that the energy is taking over, and therefore I think that's the biggest plus point, that we came back to sort of more aggressive material, which people love. I mean, everyone is asking for songs from Timebomb and stuff like that, which is exactly that era where I would put it. And it came super naturally. So we were not sitting down and saying, oh, we need to write something like this. We never do this, because everyone thinks it's stupid. But yeah, that's definitely I think the greatest progression is that it's faster and more aggressive and more heavy metal, back to very heavy metal kind of stuff.
So I'm going to ask you before we go, when's the band going to be touring? Have you got any tours planned, or is it just festivals?
At the moment, just festivals. We are currently working hard on the next tours, which we will announce, I think, sooner than some people think. So we definitely keep ourselves busy. We're currently working on the U.S., and we hope to have some good news in the near future for our U.S. fans. And the next European tour will definitely take place in 2024 to promote the new album. And yeah, the people can definitely expect that we're gonna have some good news regarding touring and coming to your town in the next couple of weeks.
Right, Sven, I'd like to thank you for doing this interview. Do you have anything to say to the people watching this on YouTube?
Thanks for your support. Thanks for supporting us. And we really appreciate it. We love every single one of you. And we hope to see you somewhere on the road. Stay metal.